نهاركم إن شاء الله مبروك. طبعا نحن في هذا اليوم العلمي. الدكتور عادل كان يقول بلاش نقولوا اليوم العلمي العلمي الأول، حولوا كلمة الأول هذه باش يبقى كل سنة بالسنة بتاعها. هي بالفعل هذا هو الأول، يعني لأن فيها شوية يعني ماهيش نايس انك بعد 17 سنه تبدا تدير في اليوم العلمي وبالتالي صحيحه هذه نديروا لها كوركشن. على اي حال نحن طبعا اولا شكرا للدكتور صلاح الفريق اللي قام بهذا المجهود فيما يتعلق بتنظيم هذا اليوم. شكرا دكتور جمال على الحضور، دكتور عبد الله وكيل شؤون التعلم، طبعا حتى هي راي مهمه. دكتور عادل ايضا عميد كليه ووكيل كليه العلوم الصحيه والطبيه، واهلا بكم جميعا. احنا طبعا نريد من مثل هذا النشاط، يبدو لي بانه ليس بالضروره فقط ان نحن نستعرض فيه الناتج العلمي، هو هذا المطلوب صحيح، لكن ايضا نبي نخلق نوع من العلاقه اللي تربط المهتمين سواء كان بالبحث العلمي او مهتمين ايضا بالعلاقات البينيه الانسانيه اللي بين الناس. بالتالي يبدا في نشاط ايضا خارج النطاق العلمي في الخارج. انا نقول بان بدايات من هذا النوع يجب ان احنا نحافظ عليهن، لان يعطن فرصه خصوصا شبابنا الان بادي معنا في التدريس او في العمل، يعطيهم فرصه بحيث انهم هم يبدأوا بإنتاج ما يمكن إنتاجه للمساهمة في العملية العلمية في الجامعة. أنا طبعا نقول بأن في نهاية هذا اليوم بعون الله تعالى نحرص على هذا الموضوع، على أن نحن نبي نضع نوع من السؤال الحاكم، وهو يعني شنو هي الادد فاليو اللي حصلت تخلينا نحن نصر على استمرارها، او ما هو نقاط الضعف التي يمكن ان احنا ما انتبهنا لهاش ويجب ان احنا ننتبه لها. في كل الاحوال انا نرحب بكم ونتمنى ان يكون هذا يوم سعيد. طبعا في اليوم العلمي هو يوم حر، الذي عنده رغبة هو اللي يحضر، اللي ما عندهش رغبة ليس بالضرورة أن يكون موجود، لأن هذه ما فيهاش إلزام على الإطلاق بقدر ما فيها مساحة للي يريد أن يلتحق بهذا المناخ العلمي اليوم مسموح به بذلك. أنا نقول قبل ما نبدأ خلينا نمشي مع المسطرة الصحيحة، وندعو الوكيل الجامعة لشؤون التعلم أيضا، لأن هذه لها علاقة أيضا بالموضوع التعلم، أنه هو يقول لنا كلمتين من الممكن يقودنا الموضوع إلى مرحلة أخرى مهمة. تفضل عبد الله. شكرا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف المرسلين. شكرا دكتور علي على الدعوة. طبعا في الجامعة بشكل عام، يعني هذه سنة حميدة دأبت عليها كليات الجامعة منذ نشأتها، في أن تقيم أيامها العلمية في كل سنة وتخلق مناخ رائع لعرض منتجات الطلاب العلمية ونشاطاتهم حتى خارج إطار الكوريكولم في طيلة العام الدراسي، وهذا يعطي نوع من التفاعل بين الطلاب وبين الزوار، وعرض لقدرات الطلاب. وفعلا في البحوث كثير من الأشياء اللي عرضت في أيام علمية كان لها صدى حتى خارج الجامعة، وصدى جميل ورائع. فأتمنى أن نهتم بهذه المناسبات اللي هي الأيام العلمية للبرامج والكليات، بحيث تكون زي ما قلت نطوروها بشكل كبير، ومن خلال تقييمها بشكل زي ما قال الدكتور علي، وأيضا تطويرها حيكون أهم شيء فيه هو المشاركة الفاعلة للطلاب، وهذا هو الأساس فيها. هو يوم للطلاب بحد ذاته، فأعتقد أنه مهم جدا أن نعطوا فرصة كبيرة لطلابنا بحيث أنهم يشاركوا ويجهزوا قبلها بفترة، ويعرفوا دائما من بداية العام بأن نراه مشاركة مهمة في الأيام العلمية، وعرض أفكارهم ومنتجاتهم وأيضا حتى إبداعاتهم اللي هي خارج إطار التقليدي والإطار. أتمنى لكم التوفيق وشكرا جزيلا لكم مرة أخرى.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بكم في اليوم العلمي الأول لكلية العلوم الإنسانية والاجتماعية. أنا سارة ماضي، طالبة في الكلية ببرنامج إدارة المشاريع. يسعدني أن أكون جزءا من هذا الحدث العلمي المميز. هذا اليوم بمثابة خطوة جديدة نحو تعزيز التعاون بين جميع أفراد الأسرة الأكاديمية، ليكون هذا اليوم نقطة انطلاق نحو تحقيق مزيد من النجاحات في مسيرة البحث والتعليم، ويسهم في ترسيخ مكانة الكلية كمنارة للعلم والمعرفة. يسرنا أن نجتمع اليوم لاستعراض مجموعة من الأبحاث والعروض المتميزة التي تعكس جهد وإبداع أعضاء هيئة التدريس والطلاب في مجالاتهم المتنوعة. نتمنى أن تجدوا في هذا اليوم الحافل بالمعرفة والإبداع فرصة لاكتساب معلومات جديدة، ونأمل أن تستمتعوا بكل لحظة من هذا اليوم، وأن يعزز رؤاكم ويشجعكم على مزيد من التفوق والإبداع، وشكرا لحضوركم.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed facility, honored guests, and dear students, sincerely, I'm Dr. Jani, a student in School of Human Social Science, extending my warm welcome all of you to our first scientific day at the Lebanon International University, School of Human and Social Science. It's with great pleasure that I welcome all of you to our first scientific day. Today we gather to celebrate innovation, research, and the spirit of inquiry that drives us in our pursuit of knowledge. This event is not just a platform for showcasing our academic achievements, it is a testament to the hard work and dedication of our students and school. It highlights our commitment to fostering an environment where ideas can flourish and where the pursuit of scientific understanding is at the forefront of our educational mission. So let us begin our scientific day with a presentation by the Vice Dean of the school and the Director of Law Program, Mr. Mohammed bin Sneem, with his topic, which is understanding the legal framework for micro, small, and medium enterprises while learning and establishing businesses in Libya.
Good morning, and thank you very much for coming today. As you know, this is scientific day with a new image, a new concept of university of programs. So today you're going to have diversity of presentations between law and also business presentations. All right, first question, when you see this slide, is what does mean the MSME? So actually for the MSME it means micro, small, medium enterprise. So this is the concept, legal concept from legal perspective. All right. We do have two main sources here when it comes to the MSME. We have the commercial law, number 23, back to 2010. And then we have the labor law, back to 2010 as well, and has a number of 12. These are the main two sources for any MSME legal framework. All right. When it comes to the MSME, we do have a lot of youth, a lot of students. They want to start their own business, their own companies. But when it comes to the legal perspective, many people thinking it's a bit difficult and a bit not easy to getting involved with the MSME world. But the truth is, it's very simple actually, because we do have two categories of companies under the commercial law and legal law. We do have companies based on persons and divided into three companies, and we do have second category is based on the based on money actually. Companies based on money, not based on the persons, and it's divided also for three different categories. So today, our legal advice, our free legal advice for today is when it comes to the MSME, go directly to this company, or LLC, limited liability company. This is the best structure for MSME from legal perspective. Why is that? We can figure out from this. alright. حتى في حاجات حتى في الحاجات العادية شيشة المية، الحاجات اللي دائما نستخدموا فيه. مرة خلوا عندكم فضول كي وشوفوها من تحت إذا كانت شركة مساهمة والله مكتوب عليها ذا ميم. ذا ميم ذات المسؤولية المحدودة. Once you see this, so it's related to the legal framework للشركة المسؤولية المحدودة بما فيها من مزايا. Alright. We do have legal information, very important legal information to know about. So when you start to the MSME, so we do have here for the partners numbers. This is the only company in the commercial law, Libyan commercial law, related to this legal concept. All the other kind of categories of the companies, they are not seeking for limited number of partners, unless we're talking about the LLC, شركة المسؤولية المحدودة, because we do have the minimum is 2, the maximum is 25, and it's also designed for the youth. So that's why the commercial law, this terms for the LLC to be limited for the partners. And then we're going to know about the legal responsibility and the minimum for the capital, whether it's cash or based on the material. All right. This is what I have mentioned right now, which is this is the minimum 2 and the maximum is 25. We do have also the capital. تقدر تصدقوا ان تقدر تأسس شركة بس ب 3000 جنيه ليبي، وهذه واحدة من الحاجات اللي دايرها المشرع الليبي عشان يشجع الشركات او المشاريع متناهية الصغر والصغرى والمتوسطة. 3 levels of the companies. عشان كده لما تجي عند 3 levels هذينا المشرع الليبي القانون التجاري الليبي راعى الجزئية هذه وركز على ان راس المال يكون بسيط جدا، فقط 3000 دينار. الواقع يقول ان لما تمشي للسجل التجاري يطالبوك براس مال الشركه المسؤوليه المحدوده اقل شيء 10000 دينار. لكن واحده من الحاجات اللي نحن بنحكي فيه في اليوم العلمي بتاعنا اليوم اللي هو تصحيح للمعلومه هذه، حتى للجهات التنفيذيه تصحح المعلومه هذه، ان راس المال بالنسبه LCD اللي هي حتكون 3000 دينار فقط كالحد الادنى. ما فيش طبعا there is no maximum for the capital. الحصص متساوية، قد تكون نقدية، قد تكون أيضا عينية. النقطة هذه حتى من ناحية قانونية مهمة جدا، لأن أحيانا حتى الشركاء لسه طلبة من ليمو يبي يديروا شركة مسؤولية محدودة واجهوا مشاكل في توفير النقد الكاش بالنسبة لرأس المال. القانون التجاري الليبي وفر أيضا ميزة إضافية اللي هي توفير رأس المال عن طريق حصص عينية، عن طريق خبير من وزارة الاقتصاد تقدر تمشي له تعطيه مثلا ما يفيد بانك انت عندك طابعه، مكتب، اي حاجات عينيه تقدر تبدا بها الشغل بتاعك، يثمنها لك لما يوصل 3000 دينار. That's it. خلاص الف مبروك. Congratulations. You do have now a limited liability company LLC.
هل ممكن يا محمد تكون جزء من شركه قابضه؟
ممكن، لان الشركه القابضه عباره عن بليت الهولدنج كمباني.
موضوع العدد يعني هل هي جزء من الشركه القابضه؟
عاديه جدا. As long as it's less than 25 partners في LLC تقدر تكون جزء من الشركه القابضه. الشركه القابضه هي الشركه اللي تضم اكثر من نوع من الشركات. لو تحب تجمع 6 انواع الشركات اللي استعرضناها تو بعضنا كلهم تحت الامبريلا بتاع الهولدنج كمباني يمكن تسوي.
المشكله في الشركه القابضه العدد كبير.
بالعكس، تكوين الشركه القابضه لازم يكون العدد بتاعها كبير، لان هي عباره عن امبريلا العدد غير متناهي من الشركات.
يعني من يملكها هذه الشركه؟
كل جزئيه كل شركه لها الاداره التنفيذيه بتاعها، بس المدير العام بتاع الشركه القابضه هو له الفاينل كود. لا مش مجلس الاداره في العدد. ممثلين، يعني لا تسي مثلا خلينا نقول مثلا ان فيه 16 شركه كلها مملوكه شركه قابضه واحده. كل شركه لها ممثل فوق في الجمعيه العموميه عند الهولدنج كمباني، تمثل الشركه، تمثل الفيجن والميشن والابستكلز والتشالنجز والبنفيتس، تمثل كل حاجه ريبريزنتيف.
بس التاسيس
تمام. التاسيس جزء من الشركه القابضه عاديه جدا. هذه الاستراكشر اصلا اساسا مبنيه على الدايفرسيتي بتاع الشركات هذه.
Let's move on to Mr. Abdurrahman Al-Gharyani, founder and president of Tanmiyah 360 since 2018, who also a consultant in World Bank Group and Public Financial Management with a master's degree in Public Administration from University of Birmingham and a Bachelor from Science of Business Administration and American University of Sharjah, with his presentation that talks about the challenges in bridging gaps between academic research and practice in Libya.
Bridging the gap between academic research and practice in Libya. So I chose the phrase dichotomy because I believe that we have lots of academic research, but it does not really impact the practice. So why is research important? Some people would say it's good for publications. We would like to have literature. Some people would say it's good for promotions. للأسف ممكن هذا الواقع في ليبيا. كثير من البحث العلمي هو لغرض الترقية ولا شيء غير الترقية. But نعم.
To prevent stagnation.
Yes. And in my humble opinion, it's very important for the sake of development. We need research so we can actually develop. So types and classifications of research. We have quantitative research, we have qualitative research. These are the basics that we know of. But there are so many different types of academic research. Inductive, deductive field research, desk-based research, theoretical research, experimental, you name it. According to Power, he's an associate professor in one of the leading universities in India. He looked at research from two different perspectives: the design of research and the type of research. And as you see, he has this diagram. To speak about research and practice, and this is why I'm standing here in front of you, what causes the gap between research and practice in public policy? And we can ask ourselves, does it only affect public policy or does it affect business? So if we want to address the challenges, why do we have a gap between research and practice? One of the things is path dependency. Who is familiar with path dependence or path dependency? Interesting. Another one is isomorphic mimicry, and it's I believe it's a phrase used in biology and medicine, but public administration people try to coin it as a phrase used in public policy. And then there's modeling through. Excuse me for the phrase, it's a very academic phrase, the garbage can approach. And then we have signaling and we have evidence-based policy making. The issue that causes the gap between academic research and practice is, to a large extent, one of these. Yes, I will. I'm trying to make it more interesting. So it's one of these. However, to business students and to people in the business field, it's usually the value of research in businesses is seen as something more valuable than public policy. And you have market research, feasibility studies, they're all sorts of research, not necessarily scientific or academic, but they are types of research. And we have R&D. I believe we are all familiar with R&D, it's research and development. In 2022, R&D spending across the world exceeded or was nearing $2.5 trillion. So we can see the amount of spending on research, and it shows the importance of research and why it's important to address the challenges and the gap between research and practice. So path dependency, it's the dependence of decision making related to future events based on previous or past experience. Simply, if we have a challenge, عندنا مشكلة مواجهتنا في الواقع اللي نحن عايشينه اليوم، يجينا حد يقول يا جماعة هذه لما صارت من 3 4 5 10 سنين درنا معاها هيك. إذا نحن اتجهنا في حل مبني على شيء جربناه من 5 10 سنين disregarding the context اللي نحن عايشين فيه, this is path dependency, للأسف الشديد حتلاحظوا أن كثير من القرارات الرسمية والتجارية اللي عندنا في الواقع اللي نحن عايشين فيه they are path dependent. يقول لك زمان واجهتنا المعضلة هذه ودرنا معها هيك، وهذه مشكلة كبيرة. عندنا الشيء الثاني اللي هو الايزومورفيك ميميكري. هي مش حنقرا التعريف، لكن عارفين الفكرة بتاع best practices. في بريطانيا يديروا هيك، أو في أمريكا يديروا هيك. البست براكتس يقول كذا. في كثير من الأحيان هو ما يعرف ممكن عندنا في اللغة العربية التقليد الأعمى. فنحن لما نشوفوا روحنا كيف ناخذه في قراراتنا وكيف نحطه في سياساتنا، سواء قطاع عام أو قطاع خاص، إذا كانت عبارة عن والله داروها في المكان الفلاني ونجحت ونبغى نحاول نديروها، it's isomorphic mimicry، وهي it's disregarding الفاليو بتاع الاكاديميك ريسيرش. لأن الاكاديميك ريسيرش المنبثق عن الواقع اللي نحن عايشين فيه حيخلينا ناخذ قراراتنا بناء على الواقع اللي نحن قاعدين فيه اللي توصلنا النتيجة اللي نبغوها. إذا نحن ما درناش الريسيرش، if we didn't do our homework وسمبلي قلنا والله داروها هكي في دبي هيندروها هكي، then we will face an issue. If we didn't face an issue, then it's modeling through، اللي هي خلينا نقولوا صدفت معانا بالمجاودة، جات بالبركة. المصطلحات العامية ذينا كلها موجودات في الببليك بوليسي. Modeling through is the limited analysis of policy, bounded rationality. عندكم خلفية على bounded rationality؟ أوكي حنشرحها. limited theory ولا no theory at all in formulating policy. Modeling through هو لما يكون شخص معين مسؤول again قطاع عام أو قطاع خاص ويقعد يجرب. مرات تكون التجربة نابعة من isomorphic mimicry. والله داروها في شركة كذا أو داروها في دولة كذا، خلي نجرب وش بنخسره. إذا صدفت ونجحوا هقول لك والله نحن حققنا نتيجة ممتازة، بس هذه النتيجة الممتازة إن تحققت هي مش من شطارتهم، هي عبارة عن modeling through. هم تخبطوا وصدفت معاهم ووصلوا لنتيجة، لكن هذا بعيد عن الأكاديميك والساينتفك methodology. بالنسبة للباوندد راشوناليتي هي القدرة المحدودة لصانع القرار. صانع القرار عليه ضغوط اجتماعية، عنده التزامات أسرية، وقته محدود، عنده ستفة أوراق يبي يقرأ يبي يوقع، فدائما متخذ القرار عنده bounded rationality. الراشوناليتي بتاعه is very limited due to multiple of factors. فلما يكون عنده هو bounded rationality وما عندهش ماكينة لصنع القرار أو تدعم صنع القرار، وما عندهمش research an approach, a methodology to reach to the proper decision making، ويقعدوا غير يجربوا، that's modeling through. وآخر حاجة حاب نحكي عليها حاشا السامعين هي الجاربج كان ابروتش، طريقة سلة المهملات في صنع القرار. وهذه باختصار شديد يقول لك لما تكون عندك القرارات قاعدة في سلة المهملات شبه متخذة مسبقا، وعندك المشاكل في سلة المهملات، ممكن يتلاقى مع بعض وتطلعهن وتحل بهن أزمة. أو يجيك مقترح معين، هيا نصرف مكافأة كذا للفئة الفلانية، ممكن جاك المقترح خذيته وعزقته، هيا نديروا السياسة الفلانية خذيته وعزقته، بعدين في أول كرايسس تصير تمشي تطلع من السلة وتاخذ قرار. هذا موجود في العالم كله، لكن هذين أشياء في حقيقة الأمر هن الأساس اللي يخلينا نشوفوا الجاب between academic research and practice. ليش؟ لأن عندنا هذه الممارسات. إذا نحن نبغى نحكوا بمثالية ونقولوا لا المفروض ناخذ القرار بناء على دراسات هذا كلام مثالي، بس الواقع موجود فيه الأشياء هذه. لما نبغى نحكوا على الريسيرش اند ديفلوبمنت، طبعا كيف ما قلت ما سبق من challenges او gaps between الثيوري او الاكاديميك ريسيرش اند براكتس موجوده في القطاعين العام والخاص. لما نجون نحكوا عن research and development, to many people research and development is a business thing. Not many people realize that governments invest in research and development. So if we look at research and development, حنلقوا أمازون صارفة لعند نهاية يعني 12 شهر قبل 31/12/2022 صارفة 73 مليار اللي هي 14% من الريفينيو اللي حققته أمازون. هذا صرفوه على research and development. It shows us the value, the importance, the significance of research. شوفوا ألفابت، ميتا، أرقام ضخمة جدا، لكن many people might say لا هذينا شركات يديروا فلوس. هل تعلموا أن الستافت كراست، من يعرف الستافت كراست في البيتزا؟ يرفع يده أو ترفع يدها. ستافت كراست البيتزا اللي فيها جبنة في الحواشي. هل تعلموا أن هذا النوع من البيتزا كان بفضل الريسيرش اند ديفلوبمنت تاع الحكومة الأمريكية؟ في دوكيومنتري اون نتفليكس يحكي على الحكومة الأمريكية والبيروقراسي، أرجوكم تفرجوا عليه اللي حصل وقت. اسمع ما تمسكوش علي والله ناسي. أنا من كثر ما أتفرج على حاجات ننسى، لكن المعلومة رسخت. في فترة ما الحكومة الأمريكية بدأت تستثمر بشكل كبير في قطاعات زراعية معينة، أو دير في دراسات باش تحث المستثمرين أن يستثمروا في قطاعات زراعية معينة، فصار عندهم فائض في إنتاج زراعي معين، توجهوا بعدين إلى أن يكون هذا المنتج الزراعي علف أجلكم الله للمواشي والأبقار. زاد عندهم منتجات الألبان بشكل يفوق حجم الطلب في السوق. خلقوا نوع طلب جديد، قال لك البيتزا بدنا نحط على جبنة من فوق، هي نحشوها من الحواشي. That was government research and development. فهذا خلينا نعرفوا أن research and development is not something only for businesses. In fact, it's for businesses and for governments. To see the gap between research and practice in Libya is saddening. في المنطقة العربية ككل is very, very saddening، خصوصا لما نحن نشوفوا the statistic by the OECD. أكثر دولة في العالم تنفق على research and development as a percentage of GDP هي الكيان الصهيوني المحتل. فيش ولا دولة عربية قاعدة تصرف في هذه الأموال. And that's why I would like to thank Limo for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you on this very critical issue. Bridging the gap between research and practice is not a luxury. It's something very important. It's vital for the survival of businesses, of nations, of people.
السعودية لا تنفق more
ينفقوا.
than 5%.
نعم.
They don't spend more than 0.5% of GDP.
I'm not sure, to be honest, and I got the statistic from the OECD website to the top countries spending in the world, and I can't see.
OECD only maybe.
لا, this is a comparison I think between كل دول العالم. But yeah, it could be OECD countries only. للأمانة العلمية ممكن هذين يكونوا دول الOECD فقط، لكن حتى لو السعودية بروحها مش كفاية، محتاجين كلنا ننفق على research and development بغض النظر من ينفق أكثر. هذه تبين لنا أهمية research and development. في النهاية نحن لما نبغى نقولوا محتاجين نديروا bridging للجاب، نبغى نقللوا الفجوة بين البحث العلمي والبراكتس والتطبيق وصنع السياسة واتخاذ القرار. مهم أن نحن ناخذ في بالنا 3 أشياء مهمة. الأولى characteristics of the intervention. شنو طبيعة التدخل اللي نحن نبغى نديروه؟ البحث العلمي يجب أن لا يكون مبني على عاطفة. والله الموضوع هذا سمحين أبحثوا فيه، لا، لازم يكون جزء من استراتيجية الدولة، جزء من استراتيجية الشركة، جزء من سياسة عامة تحتم علينا أن نجاوب أسئلة محددة منطلقة من الكونتكست. 2، مهم جدا أن نحن يكون عندنا تارجتس. لماذا نقوم بهذه الأبحاث؟ Why are we doing the research؟ مش عشان نديروا publication ونحصلوا ترقية، لا، احنا عندنا هدف معين نبغى نوصلوا له، وهذه الأبحاث هتساعدنا للوصول إلى هذا الهدف. عندنا أعداد معينة من المعضلات والمشاكل اللي نبغى نحلوها. من المهم جدا إن نحن الريسيرش اللي نديروه يساعدنا في بعدين وضع السياسات واتخاذ القرارات اللي تساهم في حل هذا العدد المحدد. وأخيرا وليس آخرا، الديزاين بتاع الريسيرش ينبغي ألا نكون حافظين ومش فاهمين. في كثير من الأحيان ممكن التندنسي بتاعنا كهيومن بينجز أن نحن نديروا الحاجة اللي مرتاحين فيها، نديروا الشيء اللي نحن نعرفوه ومجربين أكثر من مرة. بس the design of research projects has evolved over the years. We need to look for the best design for our research projects so that we can come up with the best results اللي بعدين حتساهم في وضع السياسات واتخاذ القرار. And only then we can have a bridge, or we can bridge the gap between research and practice. أنا حنشارك البرزنتيشن هذه مع القائمين على هذا المؤتمر، مشكورين. وبليز فيل فري انكم تاخذوها. هذين بعض المراجع اللي أعتقد أنها جيدة جدا للي حاب يخش على الموضوع. وشكرا لكم. لو في أي أسئلة.
واحنا نسعى الى ان نكون يعني جزء من هذا المجتمع، قادرين على احداث التغيير اللي يجب، ليس فقط في انتاج المعرفه ولكن حتى في العقليه اللي سائده. وبالتالي هذه الجامعه ربما الوحيده من بين الجامعات اللي وتزداد. هناك يعني اشياء كثيره عملتها هذه الجامعه، لكننا نكون صريح يعني لازلنا مربوطين بهذه الذهنيه والعقليه اللي قاعده سائده. اعطيك مثال. طلبنا ان تتشكل لجنه من يعني مختصين وخبراء بان يضعوا اولويات للبحث العلمي. اشتغلوا لاشهر عديده وجابوا لنا نفس الاولويات اللي يكتب فيها كل حد في كل جامعه ولا في كل مؤسسه ولا اللي تعمل فيها الهيئه الوطنيه للبحث العلمي. هذه يعني بصراحة يعني تستوجب أن يكون عندك أولويات، لأن مهما كان لديك من إمكانيات فهي محدودة. صحيح الجامعة الآن تشجع على النشر وعلى البحث، يعني عندنا مجلة مفتوحة ومرتبطة بتيم يعني الناشر ويعني على مستوى رفيع، وليست كالمجلات الأخرى يعني لكي تنشر فيها لازم تدفع. مجانية ومفتوحة للجميع، ونسعى لأن يكون مستواها والرانكينج بتاعها والسيتيشن بتاعها تكون عالية. لكن وأيضا عندنا يعني نعمل في مكافأة لمن ينشر في مجلة محكمة الدولية، نعمل في تغطية لأي نشر في أي مجلة بمقابل. يعني نسعى إلى أن يعني أن ندعم ذلك، لكن في المقابل لكي يكون هناك تأثير لهذا يعني الصرف، يعني بمعنى أن يكون زي ما قلت حضرتك يكون فيه فاليو، فيه حاجة ترجع بها. نقول ما لم تتكامل هذه الحلقات على مستوى الدولة لن يكون لها أي أثر، لكن مهمتنا ستكون وستبقى في توفير البيئة المناسبة للبحاث، وفي استقطاب البحاث، وفي مساهمة في نشر المعرفة وإنتاج المعرفة. المشكلة الأخرى ليش نقولوا في جامعات يعني هي معتمدة على البحث العلمي وتسمى تلقى بين جامعات بحثية. هذه لأن في مؤسسات تصرف بسخاء على هذا البحث العلمي. المورد بتاع جامعة هارفارد مثلا من البحث العلمي 300 ضعف من اللي يأتيها من الرسوم الدراسية، ورسومها هي الأعلى على الولايات المتحدة بين كل الجامعات الأخرى. هذا دافع كبير لذا. نحن لا يوجد من يعني يرغب مش يصرف أن يعني يأذن ولا يسمح ولا يساعد بأن البحث العلمي يقام. في بحث قامت به هذه الجامعة شعرنا يعني ما جاش في الأولويات على الاتحاد، لكن شعرنا بأهميتها لما صار الإعصار الثاني. كان فيه مناطق زي البخيلي انقطعت عن العالم وأصبح فيه ناس محجورين لا يمكن الوصول إليه لإيصال الدواء، لإيصال الغذاء، ما فيش إمكانية. فاقترحنا بأن يعني لابد أن يكون هناك إمكانية في استحداث مسيرة تكون قادرة على نقل الدواء والغذاء لهؤلاء الناس وتكون يعني لأغراض مدنية. اشتغلنا على هذا المشروع وانتهينا من التصاميم، خذت منا وقت طويل، وبدأنا في التصنيع. أبلغنا الجهات ذات العلاقة ووصلنا إلى مرحلة التجميع، أن الطائرة هذه الجمعوها خلاص جاهزة، فيد بالأمن يحجز عليها وينهي هذا المشروع. شوف أنت لما يعني لأسباب أخرى ممكن يعني، لكن لما يكون الجهد منصب في اتجاه أنك أنت تحل مشكلة وأنك تضيف قدرة وأنك أنت تحقق مقنع من خلال البحث ومن خلال العمل وتتكفل بكل المصاريف، يعني لم يساهموا معنا ولا مليم. ويجب في النهاية لكي يجهزوا هذا المشروع أنا أقول لك هذه أمة متخلفة ومصرة على التخلف ما لم تتغير هذه العقلية، ونحن لن ننهزم، لن نتوقف، سنستمر وسننشر المعرفة وستكون هذه الجامعة بإذن الله تعالى مصدر إشعاع في هذا الوطن.
أنا نحيي هذه الروح العالية، واسمح لي أن أقدم نصيحة لنفسي أولا ثم للجامعة العريقة هذه، أن نسعى للعمل بشراكة مع الآخرين. أنت اللي حضرتك قلت ترى هو اللي أنا كنت نحكي فيه، لما تدير الحاجة وبعدين تجيبها جاهزة راه لن تقبل في كثير من الأحيان. 99 والله حتلقى أبحث عن الشامبيونز، راه أنا نحكي لك في كلام مطبق في العالم كله حتى في أدغال أفريقيا.
يا عبد الرحمن، أنا في هذا العمل أنا كنت في مجلس الجامعة سنة 84. أدرك تماما بأن هذه العقلية اللي أنت تتحدث عنها غير موجودة، والسبب فيها هي يعني دولة ريعية، دولة معتمدة على ذات. الحاكم يتصرف في أموال الدولة كأنها ملك الخاص، لا يوجد هناك يعني مسؤولية مجتمعية كما نراها، لا يوجد. شنو اللي مخلي العرب متخلفين ومهزومين؟ هو هذا اللي وضعت أمامنا من قيمة الصرف قريب 6% من الإنتاج بتاع إسرائيل، الكيان الصهيوني يصرف على البحث العلمي. وشيء آخر لابد أن يلاحظ، عارفين الطلاب اللي خرجوا في الجامعات الأمريكية والبريطانية معترضين على الحرب في غزة يدفعوا في شعار أوقفوا التعاون مع الكيان الصهيوني، لأن في أبحاث كثيرة لشركات صهيونية وللكيان، هذه الأبحاث يعمل فيها طلاب وطلاب دراسات عليا وبحاث في هذه الجامعات الأمريكية والبريطانية والأوروبية، يعني مش مكتفين فقط بما يصرفوا فيه على جامعاتهم. هذا هو الفارق الذي يخلق ذلك، ولذلك هذه الأمة مهزومة وستستمر ما لم تتخذ من العلم ومن الأسلوب العلمي والإيفيدنس بيس تأخذ منها أسلوب.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdurrahman, and thank you all for your attention. And now Mr. Ahmed Faitouri will explain to us one of the most important topics that we must understand, which is geopolitical shockwaves, American analysis of U.S. stock market reaction of 10 major defense companies following the announcement of Israeli occupation ground of Gaza, and due to some circumstances, he will present to us online.
أولا مرحبا بالجميع وبارك الله فيك مع اليوم العلمي واليوم الكرام. Today I will be talking about the geographical shift waves, actually empirical answers for this market reaction of 10 major defense companies following the announcement of Israeli Prime Minister around occupation of Gaza. So I will be talking about the introduction and motivation of this research, then the nature of the problem and register review, research methodology and testing hypothesis, and the results, conclusion, and limitation of this study. At the beginning, as we know, actually, globalization makes the world smaller. So in today's globalized economy and financial markets are more interconnected than ever. So the flow of information and capital and trade exceeds the borders, meaning that geographical events in one region can have a repercussion or can have immediate and profound impact on the global markets. So the motivation of this study, actually, as we know, the Israeli and Palestine dispute has long been a source of the geographical tension, prompting a need for exploring the potential impact in various sectors. So this study should highlight, for example, the repercussion of this conflict on the defense industry in the US market. So by analyzing how the defense sector responds to this event, particularly at the day of the announcement of the Prime Minister, particularly for Israel and Palestine. The nature of the problem of this research actually seeks to address the gap on understanding the complicated relationship between the global conflicts and financial stock markets, and investor behavior, how investors behave during the tension and geographical effects within the context of different sectors. We have some literature review actually that talks about the impact of the international conflicts on the financial stock markets. So the spillover effect of the geographical hazard of conflict influences financial stock markets via spillover effect of geographical risk. The war actually significantly increased the stock market volatility and uncertainty about company profitability. Our methodology, by utilizing the market-adjusted return model to examine abnormal return, we have used our market model to reveal good result of conducting even study analysis. So testing hypothesis, we need to understand whether the military invasion announcement in Gaza has no significant impact on the stock prices or stock market of defense companies, or the military invasion announcement significantly and positively influences stock markets, especially defense sectors, and has a positive abnormal returns. The result of this paper, actually, of this research, it shows abnormal returns of 10 major companies. As we can see here, it shows almost 12% of 10 major defense companies. Are you listening? تسمع فيها؟ معايا ولا مش معايا؟ تسمع فيها اوكي. نحن نشوف الابنورمال ريتيرن اليوم اللي هو اعلن فيه اسرائيل بضرب الحرب على غزه. الدي زيرو الان most companies actually يعني في امريكا خاصه شركات الدفاع الامريكيه الخاصه بصنع الاسلحه وكذا شو صار فيها بالضبط. فهنا الدي زيرو هذا يحكي عن اليوم الاعلان البرايم مينستر للحرب على غزه شو صار بالضبط اليوم بس الإعلان على الحرب أو الإعلان على دخول غزة في يوم 9 أكتوبر أو يوم 7 أكتوبر. عندنا هذا تفصيل للشركات اللي هن الكبيرة زي نورث جرامان كومبانيز واللوكلز، هذين أكثر من أكبر شركات العالم في تصنيع الأسلحة وكذا، فكلهن حققن abnormal returns يعني up to 10% 15% في اليوم هذا. أغلب الشركات هي باستثناء عندنا بس اللي هي شركة قومي ما حققتش أرباح أو حققت أرباح سلبية بحكم إن هي بس مش ديديكيتد للصناعات الحربية فقط، هي أصلاً شركة تجارية لكن عندها بعض يعني السب سيكتور إن هي تصنع بعض الأسلحة. يعني المجمل كان أغلب الشركات في صناعة الأسلحة حققت abnormal returns. هذا بالنسبة للabnormal returns. طبعاً الabnormal returns هو المقصود به ال difference between expected return and real return. فهذا يعني sequence or order sequence of 10 major companies كيف حققت أرباح الشركات هنا من 11% لأن شركة بوينغ كان فيه impact على يعني اليوم هذه هي وكان توقعات المستثمرين عكس مثلا السوق. فهذا كان مش هنطول عليه في الديتيلز في الستاتستيك ديتيلز، بس هذا الكارت فيه يعني هذا cumulative abnormal returns. عندنا ويندو هنا 20 يوم قبل الحدث و20 يوم او 18 يوم بعد الحدث بالضبط. يعني كل شركه هنا يعني shows the statistical significance results بتاعها خاصه اليوم الاول او اليوم الاعلان عند اليوم العاشر بعد الحرب على غزه. هذا يعني الويندو هذه كانت سمرايز يعني للريسيرش بالكامل. فعند يعني اليوم العاشر كانت الشركات تحقق بأرباح خيالية وكان المستثمرين كان في طلب عالي على الأسهم الخاصة بالإنفاق على الشركات اللي باعت فينا بالاستثمار في الأسلحة وكذا. كانت حتى يعني أقوى من يعني الأبنورمال ريتيرن أقوى من حرب روسيا وأوكرانيا. ما صارش الأبنورمال ريتيرن هذا في حرب روسيا وأوكرانيا ما صار في غزة بالضبط. فالشركات هنا يعني اليوم بس يوم زيرو هنا يعني كانت يعني significant abnormal return والانفسترز ثانيين كان البيهيفير بتاعها يعني الديماند بتاعها عالي جدا. فالكونكلوجن للستدي هذا مش هنخش في ديتيلز وايد، يعني الريفرنس للستدي قاعده كامله يعني لو اي حد يبيعها عن conclusion هذا study examines the impact of Israel and Palestine conflict with the 10 major defense firms using market adjusted returns to analyze the abnormal returns. So the finding here shows significant positive effect of 10 major companies. All firms experience positive actually abnormal returns. Especially major 10 companies. This study actually understood the sensitivity of defense firms to geopolitical events. ويوريك ان هو كيف العالم مترابط ببعضها سواء امريكا او الشرق الاوسط. الاحداث اللي تصير عندنا في الشرق الاوسط تاثر في الاسواق كثير، تاثر على الديسيجن ميكينج للانفسترز. فبالتالي suggest the investor to consider the defense as stocks as يعني one diversification while you are for example creating your portfolio. ما تطلق مثلا محفظة استثمارية you need to take into account the defense sector as a hedge, for example creating a portfolio بتاعك. So the limitation of this study actually, this study doesn't take into account other major factors such as inflation or recession, for example, the study that. Thank you. If you have any question.
This is the new doctor's office في شركة اسمها Forward بتتصنع فيه. هو عبارة عن زي مش عارفة نقول أنا. كار صغيرة هيبدوا يحطوا فيها في المولز وفي الايربورتس وفي مثلا حتى في اليونيفرسيتيز ان هي تخش فيها. وطبعا هذه طبعا بالنسبه ان احنا في جنريشن رافض انه هو يستخدم الاي اي في العلاج، لكن فور نيو جنريشنز السيلف تشيك بقت حاجه كومن، وقعدوا يشوفوا في علاجهم على الجوجل. يعني واحد تطلع له مثلا راش في يده ولا مثلا زي حاجه في السكين، دغري ياخذ صوره ويحطها على جوجل ويشوف الدايجنوسيس سيكينج ذا دايجنوسيس. سو نيو جنريشن they are willing ان هم يستخدموا كل حاجه related to technology. البوكس هذا عباره عن انه فيه يخش البيشنت، فيه يدير له قسطره على مش قسطره قصدي ايكو للقلب، يدير له التخطيط بتاع القلب، يدير له حتى في تحاليل، يدير له اسكان لجسمه، ياخذ عليه كل المعلومات ويدز له في تليفونه ويقول له التشخيص بتاعك والله احتماليه يكون عندك مرض معين مستقبلا. هذا طبعا النيو ابروتش للاستخدام الاي اي في الهيلث كير. نبي نتكلموا على البنفيت الاي اي في الكلينيكال مانجمنت. عندنا طبعا الاوبريشن افشنسي، انه هو واحده من المشاكل اللي يعانوا منها المستشفيات. وامس كان عندي محاضره الطلبه عندي نقول لهم اللي هو ازدحام البيشنتس في الاي ار في الويتنج اريا. يعني فيه البيشنت فلو واجد يجوا في نفس الوقت يقمزوا فيدير فيه مشكله. الاي اي حيكون له يعني فرصه كبيره انه هو يقلل موضوع الازدحام تاع البيشنتس في نفس الوقت، عن طريق انه هو ينظم السكيدجول بتاع البيشنت، بيقلل التكلفه، بيقلل الويست. ايضا انه هو في حاجه طبعا اللي هم اكثر شيء قاعده توا اعلاميا اللي هو برودكتيف في الدايجنوستيك. شو المعنى انه هو الاي اي قاعد توا من الذكاء بتاعه انه هو يقدر يعرف حتى الريسك ان الشخص هذا حيصاب بالام اي ولا لا، هل يصاب بمثلا مشكله في القلب ولا لا. قاعد انه هو عنده القدره انه لو عندك 10 مرضى في غرفه العنايه يعرف اي شخص اي مريض انه هو حيصاب مثلا بكومبليكيشن، ولا هو اي مريض حي يعني يكون له مضاعفات بسبب ان الاي اي قاعد يقرا في الداتا بتاع البيشنت اللي هي الضغطه والنبض بتاعه وكذا، ويحسب فيها بسرعه ويقول لك المريض رقم 7 اللي في السرير رقم 7 راهو حيتعب خلال 10 دقائق. فالدكاتره والتمريض يركزوا على المريض هذا وينقذوا حياته. فهذا هو اسمه الاي اي في البيشنت كير. طبعا اكيد الاي اي حيستخدم في الريسورس اوبتمايزيشنز، اللي هو من ناحيه شنو؟ لما يكون الاي اي يدير لك في كل الشغل بتضطر ان مثلا تعرف وين توزع الريسورس بتاعك اللي هو الموظفين، النيرس، الدكتورز بطريقه صحيحه وتستفيد من كل الريسورس بتاعك. هذا دائما very common questions. وعاده اول ما طلع الاي اي طلع عليه المث بتاع الاشاعه بتاع انه في دكاتره هم mainly دكاتره الاشعه اللي هم معشان حيحصلوا شغل لان الاي اي قاعد شنو حياخذ وظيفتهم. التو بيس تو دو ذس تو ستادي اللي هي published في 2023 قالوا الكلام هذا غير صحيح. الدكاتره not gonna be replaceable soon even though this picture is like scary, but لكن الدكاتره ما زالوا افضل في تشخيص المرض. زي ما قالت الدراسه الاخيره هذه ان AI has application in many stages of patient care, but doctors cannot be replaceable as they provide diagnostic intelligence والempathy. طبعا الريبورت عمره ما حيمسك يد المريض ولا supporting him ولا يسبورت الريلاتيفز. ما زال الدكتور ان شاء الله يعني باقي معانا زي ما يقولوا. الناس اللي ما تحبش الاي اي في الهيلث كير وعندهم اللي هو لو I'm not gonna use it عندنا عليه مشاكل هم اسمهم drawbacks، ممكن يعجبها بالبوست هذا. يعني انه still الهاي initial investment. طبعا عشان تبي تبدا اي اي معناها فيه محتاج ريسورس، محتاج مثلا cost. طبعا انت الاي اي هو عباره عن سوفت وير، هاردوير، تكنيكال سبورت، هذا كله حيكون واحده من التشالنجز. مهم طبعا ونحن عارفين كلنا الداتا برايفسي، من اللي يكون عنده اوثرايز للداتا هذه، وين تتخزن، كيف تتخزن، هل فيها ليجل issues والethical issues. الoverlies risk اللي هو طبعا، وهذا طبعا في امريكا بدوا يعالجوا الموضوع هذا، ان لما انت كطبيب يجيني differential diagnosis للمرض هذا قدامي، لما الاي اي ياخذ كل التحاليل وياخذ كل الفيتال ساين ويطلع لي differential diagnosis، انا كطبيب سهل اني نعتمد عليه. هذا طبعا عالجوه ان الدكتور لازم يدير اقرار انه هو لا يعتمد يستخدم الاي اي بس as a tool انه يساعده، لكن ولا يعتمد عليه كتشخيص نهائي. even though الاي اي بدا يتطور وفيه مثلا اللي هو تحديثات له، ولكن لازم الدكتور لا يعتمد على التشخيص في الاي اي. الامبليكيشنز على الكلينيك مانجرز، انه هو طبعا كل مانجر حيتعلم نيو سكيلز، حيستفيد من التكنولوجي اللي يقدم فيها الاي اي عن طريق استخدام الداتا واناليسيس للداتا. طبعا حيصير شيفت الريسبونسبيلتي، طبعا بما ان الاي اي حيساعدنا واجد في الوظائف اليوميه في العياده او في المستشفى، معناها حتقلص بعض وظائف اللي هو الموظفين وينقلوا الشفت بتاعهم لانهم هم يديروا اكثر اشياء. ايضا الكونتينيوم ليرنينج اللي هو المانجر لازم، الهيلث كير مانجر لازم يكون اب تو ديت على التطور اللي صاير، ويتابع تطور الاي اي ويتابع تطور التكنولوجيا اللي عنده في او ما يخص المانجمنت. طبعا هذا جاست هو بيوند سكوب بتاع البيبر، لكن جاست فور انترست ان الاي اي فيوتشر ان ليبيا في الهيلث كير. عاده الاي اي كان امبروف الهيلث كير اكسسبيلتي خاصه في ليبيان ريجنز، المكانات اللي هن ما يوصلهنش ما فيهش مستشفيات عيادات، ممكن نستخدم تيلي ميديسن نوصلوا للبيشنت هيلب ذم. فهذا طبعا الاي اي حيساعد. الريجولاتوري نيدز اللي هي ليبيا ماست استابلش اي اي جايد لاينز، يعني في دول بدات تدير في قانون للاي اي، بدات تدير في جايد لاينز بوليسيز اند ذن حتى ethical issues. طبعا لازم ليبيا يكون عندها الجايد لاينز. التشالنجز المهم واللي نحن كلنا عارفينه ومقتنعين به ان نحن ما عندناش انفراستراكشرز عشان نبدا تكنولوجي. يعني في مستشفيات يلانا موجوده لايك a few kilometers منا العنتوى مش بادين حاجه اسمها electronic health records بسبب ما يرفضوا، يقولوا لنا ما عندناش انفراستراكشرز، ما عندناش تريننج، ما عندناش ميزانيه وريسورس لاستخدام التكنولوجيا. To conclude, transformative impact AI طبعا reshape الكلينيك والهوسبيتال مانجمنت. استخدام التكنولوجيا حتساعد في ان تقدم رعايه جيده للبيشنتس. عاده المانجر لازم، الهيلث كير مانجر لازم يدير ويت الاي اي بنفيت اجينست الethical issues. ولدي opportunity should be good investment plan حتساعدنا نحن ان شاء الله ان ننتقل الى عالم اللي هو provide a good quality of healthcare using technology. That's it. شكرا. This is my reference and any questions.
الدراسة هذه ساعدتنا نحن نقدر نديروا ربط كيف ما قال مستر عبد الرحمن الطلياني، ان لما نديروا انفستمنت في الريسيرش يولد لنا ديفلوبمنت. فنحن عن طريق الريسيرش هذا عرفنا ان الليبيان كونسيومر بيهيفير عندهم مشاكل مع انسرتين انفورميشن في الانتليجنت بلاتفورم، محتاجين الاي اي هذا حيساعدنا، حيكون عندنا اوبورتونيتي اكثر ان نحن نديروا انكريزنج للستودنت انرولمنت في الجامعه. ايضا نحن لو ما طبقناش الانترفيو والكواليتيف ميثودز ان نحن درنا دايركت انترفيوز وجاذرينج داتا، ما كناش قدرنا نديروا السوشيو كلاس كلاسيفيكيشن ومن هم البوتنشال كاستمر. يعني الفكره من اللي موجود هنا ان نحن جاذرينج للداتا، الداتا هذه نحولوا فيها من ساينتفك اكاديميك داتا الى براكتيكال داتا تدير امبروفمنت للفيوتشر ماركتنج استراتيجي في الجامعه. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Hello everyone, my name is Rehan Ubaidi. I'm one of the students of the master program in the healthcare management. This presentation is not a research, is a presentation to a project assigned to us by Dr. Abdel Basit. It's about enhancing emergency department in some hospital. We managed to analyze it from a scenario. This project, we did it, me and my colleagues Noor and Jude. We will start our presentation by saying by Henry Ford, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a process, a progress, working together is a success. First of all, what is the problem in the scenario? The problem is that the emergency department faces challenges in patient waiting time, staff satisfaction, which will lead to challenges in the overall efficiency in the department. The solution, we suggesting that we implement a comprehensive performance management system to address these challenges. First of all, the performance goals. To improve the efficiency, the staff satisfaction, the overall care of the patients, we have to identify the KPIs, key performance indicators. It's a 6, not 5, and define their SMART goal for each one. The first thing is patient waiting time. Our goal is to reduce the patient waiting time from the triage to seeing by a doctor to less than 60 minutes, which will be 90% of the time within the next 6 months. Second is the patient satisfaction. Achieving patient satisfaction rating of 85% or higher on the hospital patient experience survey within the next 12 months. We will explore it later that we are doing patient surveys so we can know the patient satisfaction rate to measure. Staff satisfaction, in my opinion, this is the most important thing. Increasing overall staff satisfaction scores. This will be measured annually by satisfaction surveys by 15%. How we can do this? We will address the life balance, work-life balance, professional development opportunities, and improve communication channels. If we manage to success in the staff satisfaction, we will manage to decrease the staff turnover rate. Our goal is to decrease the annual staff turnover rate in the ED by 20% within the next 12 months. Medication error rate. Our goal is to reduce the medication error rate in the emergency department by 30% in the next 9 months. We will explore later how we will manage to reduce this. Ambulance diversion hours. Our goal is to limit the diversion hours by 50% each quarter within the next 6 months, which will be like 6 months equal 100 hours of diversion. Did anyone know what ambulance diversion means? Ambulance diversion means that the ER is overcrowded and the hospital not accepting ambulance. So it's diverted to another hospitals. Performance evaluation. First of all, we will do a direct observation to the staff. We will conduct regular observation of the staff member during their shift to assess adherence to the protocol, patient interaction skills, and efficiency. Peer evaluation, we will conduct a peer evaluation to each staff member to provide feedback on each other's performance. Patient satisfaction survey, like we mentioned earlier, we will analyze the results of the hospital patient experience surveys to assess the staff ability to provide high quality care and customer service. Incidence reporting, that's what I'm talking about when I said we need to reduce the medication errors. By the reporting of the incidents, we will manage to highlight the problems in the medication errors or any other performance issues, so we can know what is the area of improvement. Sorry. Productivity metrics, we will track and analyze the key productivity metrics like a number of patients seen by hour, the average length of stay in the and evaluation list staff. Performance feedback and development. To provide constructive and timely feedback to the staff members, we will implement the following strategies. First strategy is to a quarterly performance review. We will conduct, I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm not used to stay in one spot, so it's a challenge for me. Quarterly performance review, we will conduct one-on-one performance review with each staff member a quarterly basis to discuss their progress toward established goals, provided feedback, and identify areas for improvement. That means that we will meet each staff member 4 times a year. Immediate feedback. Real-time feedback to the staff member is a critical point, both positive or constructive feedback. This will reinforce good practice and address any performance issues as they arise. Development plan. Based on the performance evaluation meetings with the staffs, we will be able to work on each staff member to create individualized development plan. Mentorship program. In this program, the senior staff will be able to mentorship the new staff or the weak staff. Communication and training. The communication plan we will hold a department-wide meeting to introduce the new performance management system, explain rationale behind it, and outline its key components. Second, we will create and distribute a comprehensive policy document that outlines the system objectives, evaluation methods, and procedures. We will provide regular updates on the progress of the system and any changes or improvements made. The training plan. We will conduct training sessions for all staff members to ensure they understand the system objectives, evaluation methods, and procedures. The training will cover topics like setting SMART goals, providing effective feedback, and utilizing data collection. We will also provide ongoing training and support to help staff members develop the skills necessary to excel under the new performance management system. To conclude, by implementing a robust of this performance management systems that centered around clear performance goals, comprehensive evaluation methods, constructive feedback, and targeted communications, our aim is to significantly enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of our emergency department. Those were our references, and thank you.
I hope you all had a fantastic day so far. Very informative presentations. I learned a lot of knowledge, my own. Emergency department performance power up. Those of you who work in the healthcare sector knew that the emergency department is the heart and soul of every working hospital. In this presentation, we are considering a scenario where the data actually collected from the emergency department through a concerning vector of patient satisfaction regarding waiting time and communication with doctors and nurses at the same time. Furthermore, staff morale seems a bit low and burnout rate is high, with actually communication issue among nurses and doctors. This decline is unacceptable, and in order to tackle those problems, we crafted an emergency department performance power-up plan prepared by me and supervised by Dr. Abdel Basit Al-Gharyani. James Clear said, and I quote, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system." This quote, while being extremely simple, it actually holds a profound implication for our personal and professional life at the same time. It suggests that no matter how ambitious your goals, we can only achieve these goals if we have the right system to perform those goals. In the arena of performance management, this principle is particularly relevant and was actually considered in mind crafting this plan. Without further ado, we're actually going to go through the elements of the Power Up plan, starting with establishing clear goals and measurable metrics, followed by performance evaluation and feedback, and stating that the six principles for feedback, strategies for performance improvement, and finalizing it with continuous improvement in order to ensure the long-term high efficiency of the emergency department environment. 4 goals were actually established, 2 related to patient satisfaction and the other related to staff morals. The 2 related to patient satisfaction, starting with tackling the first problem, reducing patient wait time for initial evaluation by 33% within 6 months. Actually, these numbers aren't haphazardly put in here, but actually we relate on analyzing data and benchmarking, considering that we have the 45-minute waiting time at the emergency department for chronic and minor and semi-urgent cases, not the urgent ones. And we are aiming to reach that 30 minutes by reducing the waiting time of this percentage, which is 33. Our metric for this is to calculate the average time from when they walk in the doors to getting care from a physician. Data will be collected using the Health Consumer Assessment for Healthcare Providers and Systems Survey titled About Your Emergency Room Visit and monitored through departmental dashboard monthly. Our strategies to establish this goal is utilizing electric forms for registration and adequately staff the registration and triage area during peak hours. Actually, we're considering redesigning the triage process and redesigning the emergency room from the inside. The second goal related to patient satisfaction is to increase patient satisfaction with communication by 20% within 6 months. Well, the metrics to accomplish this goal is again using the health consumer the Health Consumer Assessment for Healthcare Providers and Systems Score for physician and nurses communication. This scale actually contains 6 items, 3 related to doctors and 3 related to patients. Simply, they ask about did the doctor or nurse respected you, like used respectful language, they were listening to you while you were speaking to them, and they inform you and explain the treatment to you in a proper way. Our strategy to accomplish this goal is actually to work on communication skills of our staff, conducting workshops and online modules, and actually rewarding those who continue online modules because they are out of their working hours. These actually focusing on active listening, empathy, and using respectful language. Another important thing is conduct role-playing exercise for them to simulate that patient interaction. The third goal, to show our employees and our dedicated staff that we know and we care, we set 2 goals. The first is to increase staff engagement score by 30% within 6 months. Metric is the net promoter score, turnover rate, absenteeism rate, and employee satisfaction index. Data will be collected using an anonymous departmental-wide survey conducted monthly, and the strategies to accomplish this goal is to encourage open communication, at the same time establish rewarding programs that can actually reward exceptional performance among teams or individuals, at the same time providing opportunities for skill development. The last goal is to reduce reported staff burnout by 30% within 6 months. The metric is the Maslick burnout inventory score, which is widely known and used. Data will be collected using anonymous surveys, the same, and administrated monthly, as we mentioned earlier. The strategies for accomplishing this is to implement employee assistance program. This is actually to provide counseling and stress management resources, financial planning, actually assistance, to further promote a healthy lifestyle. We're going to subsidize for gym memberships and hold workshops on stress management techniques. After establishing those goals that we're going to work on, we actually craft the framework for performance. The next step is actually to evaluate that performance, and in order to ensure the comprehensive of that evaluation, we divided it into individual performance and team performance. Building up on Ralph's Medical Center Emergency Department evaluation system, we adapted a biannual 360-degree performance appraisal process for all the staff members of emergency department. The evaluation area will focus on core competencies critical to success in the ER, including their knowledge of their work, their actually teamwork, time management, problem solving, and decision making. As for team performance, to actually evaluate the team performance, a monthly review meeting will be held. During that meeting, we will analyze the KPI relevant to our goals, and we're going to compare the current KPI trends to the established goals, so we can identify area for improvement and actually celebrate success, because this is very important in motivating our staff in order to actually reach the targeted goal. Feedback. From that point, we stated 6 principles for feedback: to be situation focused and specific, be timely, listen to your patient and listen to understand and never to respond, be sincere when dealing with your employees and giving feedback, and 2 golden rules: positive feedback, you need to praise your employee publicly. This creates a positive environment and motivate others to do a great work at the same time. And for negative feedback, try to use constructive criticism and deliver it privately. Of course, for impactful feedback, you need to foster open communication. That's why we set 5 principles for open communication, starting with conducting anonymous surveys regularly and suggestion box distributed among the emergency department, secure chat platforms, training supervisors on effective communication, conflict resolving, because they are dealing with their staff immediately, and active listening training, because you cannot actually be a good communicator if you are not a great listener. And lastly, but most importantly, seek employee input, because if they do not feel that they are not part of your plan, they will not actually do their best in order to accomplish this plan. Of course, the open communication gonna actually lead to identifying performance gaps, and that's why we actually implement that. So we're going to address these performance gaps through targeted intervention. We're going to use root cause analysis in order to know the real root cause of that problem, targeted training programs to actually solve it, and regularly reviewing and updating the job description for everyone in order to avoid those performance gaps. Finalizing it, of course, ongoing, specific and constructive feedback is mandatory in order to mend performance gaps. Performance improvement. To drive performance improvement, we following 3 steps simply: targeted training programs, variety of training methods, pre and post training assessment. For targeted training program, focus on both clinical and soft skills, advanced cardiac life support, pediatric advanced life support, triage, advanced triage training, trauma management, everything related to the skills that they need in their clinical work, and focus even on soft skills, leadership development, communication skills. They are actually very important. Variety of a training method. We're going to provide on-the-job training and simulation training for them to get better. And of course, formal lectures, workshops, and seminars. Pre and post evaluation. Pre and post evaluation is very important to measure knowledge and skill acquisition. And of course, the post-training assessment led to seeking feedback from participants, and this will gonna help us to enhance the plan we already crafted. To conclude, of course, the last step is continuous improvement, last but not least. To nurture continuous improvement and enhance the quality of care delivered from the emergency department, we will implement a comprehensive strategy combining both Kaizen principles to ensure real-time management of operational performance and at the same time a robust performance management plan. And to ensure that the plan, our Power Up plan is working efficiently and to continuously improve it, we're going to follow 4 steps. First, we're going to track progress toward these goals, clarifying the goals and providing feedback whenever needed, and we're going to collect data and analyze them through performance reviews, tracking KPIs and focus groups. For evaluation, we're going to identify trends, area of weakness and strengths, and benchmark them against the market leaders. And of course, this leads us to the last step, which is take an action. At this point, you have to either plan to address any weakness identified, or provide additional training in a problem you actually faced among your employee, or you might even adjust the goal and you go around again tracking progress toward this goal. To conclude, I would love to emphasize what I said in the very beginning of this presentation. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Thank you so much for it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abdulrahman Al-Arif. I'm postgraduate for healthcare management program, and I'm also a master student. My graduation project about the impact of electronic health record on healthcare services on both public and private hospitals in Benghazi was supervised by Dr. Ibtisam Madi. These are my table of contents. Start with introduction, end with conclusion. As an introduction, Benghazi is the second largest city in Libya, with many hospitals that serve over a million of people. Recently, some of these hospitals start using electronic health record instead paper records. This switch aims to make healthcare more efficiency by improving how patient information is stored, accessed, and used. As in definitions, electronic health records is a digital system that stored patient information, including patient treatment, patient history, treatments, and medications. On the research problem, this study aims to investigate the impact of EMHR and on healthcare delivery, on healthcare delivery in both public and private hospitals. The goal is to see. The goal is to compare that hospitals that use electronic health record compare them with hospitals do not use them. In research objective, we have four main points to evaluate EHR implementation in hospitals. Second point, to measure EHR impact on healthcare delivery. The third point, to identify barriers and solutions. The last point to ACEs. The impact to assess financial impact on private hospitals. On hypothesis, we have the null hypothesis. There are no scientific difference in healthcare services delivery among hospitals that use AMR compared to hospitals that not use them. Alternative hypothesis, there are scientific difference in health service delivery among hospitals that use AMR compared to hospitals that do not use them. On research importance, we will mix the importance and I will give example. لما يخش patient للكلينيك عندنا طريقتين نقدر نسجل الداتا متاعها، يا اما تكون الكترونيك يا اما تكون بيبر بيست. لما نسجله بيبر بيست اول نقطه حنكونوا في شنو؟ حتكون في اكيوريت الداتا اكيوريت. ثاني نقطه لما تكون اكيوريت حنعرفوا نديروا حنعرفوا improving البيشنت سيفتي والاوتكمز. لما تكون في improvement للبيشنت improving للسيفتي والبيشنت اوتكمز حنعرفوا نتخذوا الديسيجن الصح للبيشنت. بعد ما نتخذوا الديسيجن الصح الديسيجن ميكرز حيعرفوا يديروا implementation للتشالنجز. لما نعرفوا نديروا implementation للتشالنجز نقدروا نبنوا عليها مستقبليا دراسات مستقبليه. On research methodology, we used mixed method, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative was surveys and qualitative was interviews with the head of departments. Our study focused on 4 hospitals, 2 of them public and 2 of them private. On literature review, we have 2 of them, specifically in Libya. The first one with Dr. الدولية explored medical staff compare skills and awareness of AMIS. Found benefits, يقول benefits أكثر من challenges. وهو دي قارن في الدراسة الثانية قارن بين منطقتين، بين المناطق النائية وبين أو المناطق خلينا نقولوا المتحضرة والمناطق النائية المستوصفات وكذا والبعيدة عن المدينة. فلقى ان المناطق اللي في الريفيه تفتقر للبنيه التحتيه انه يكون فيها لاك للكومبيرسيف اون تفتقر للاي هيلث سيستم. On data analysis, improvement in quality of patient 55% of response agree و 23% strongly agree. و reduction of medical errors satisfied majority 52% agree و 38% strongly agree. و better coordination of care 55% they are agree و 17% strongly agree. Efficiency of administrative tasks 57% agree و 25% strongly agree. Satisfaction of overall impact on EHR on healthcare delivery 45% satisfied و 31% very satisfied. On hypothesis test, we reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis because there are different between hospitals that use electronic health record and that not do use them. On key results, high use and positive feedback, better patient care, faster and more efficient care, fewer mistakes, better teamwork, smoother administration, overall satisfaction, ongoing training needed. On limitations that اللي واجهناها ان في البرايفت هوسبيتالز، اول شيء بالنسبه للليميتيشنز ان الدراسه كانت محدوده على بنغازي. ثاني نقطه ان الدراسه كانت مبنيه بيرسونال اوبينيون في اللي جاوب على الاوبينيون اللي هو يشوفها، لان في اللي مش مشتغل بالالكترونيك هيلث ريكورد او الالكترونيك سيستم هذا. ثالث شيء واجهتنا مشكله ان البرايفت هوسبيتالز تحفظوا انه ما يعطوناش الداتا لان قالوا هذه برايفسي لهم هم وما يقدروش يعطوها لنا. الريكومنديشن I recommend to invest on training or invest on improve data security or use user feedback the last one asks long-term impact on more studies. As in conclusion, زي ما ذكرنا فيما سبق، لكن إضافة على الكلام هذا، شو اللي يفيد الدراسة هذه وشو اللي يعني حتى لو اللي حد بيكمل الدراسة هذه من بعد، هذه حتفيد من جانبين. حتفيد سواء كان قطاع عام أو قطاع خاص. إذا كان قطاع عام لما يكون كل شيء مدروس، لما تكون عندنا منظومة من الأساس رئيسية، المنظومة هذه فيها البيشنتس نعرفوا شن من عندنا من ميديكال، شن من عندنا من أكثر كومن ديزيز موجودة عندنا، حنعرفوا الدولة شن تطلب أو جهاز الإمداد الطبي شن الأدوية اللي يطلبها. مش في هذا حيقلل تكاليف على الدولة، ومش حيكون فيه تالف للأدوية. النقطة اللي بعدها أن نقدروا نبنوا على ضوء المنظومة هذه، البحاث يقدروا يبنوا على ضوءها دراسات مستقبلية، ويقدروا يعرفوا شنو هو الديسيز الكومن وشنو هو اللي يحاولوا يحدوا منه وشنو هو اللي يحاولوا يتحفظوا. وفي البرايفت المنظومة هذه طبعا أو السيستم هذا بصفة عامة ديجيتال سيستم يفيد البرايفت إن هو يكون في سموثر في الورك بيناتهم بين الإدارات، سواء إذا كان إدارات أو نيرسز أو دكتورز. حاجة أخرى أن يقلل التكاليف. And that's it. Thank you.
Are enough human resource and financial resource, and if the employees is ready to accept the change process. Also, managers need to learn how to communicate with their employees and provide them with the information why the university or the organization need to do the change process and what's the expected outcomes. Definitions: organizational change is the process which the firm updated or transformed their desired conditions, the current conditions to the future state. Readiness to change is the degree when the employees ready to accept the change process to maximize the benefits and reduce if there are any risks and maintain the performance. Change management to manage the process and determine what is required for implementing this process. Research problem, the change process is a difficult process many organizations face, so need to understand what the dynamics and what the factors they may affect in the process. And the importance of the research to know what the strategies the organizations need to understand and to ensure that organizations change are implemented with fewer obstacles and more profit. Research objective is first to identify what's the factors that may affect the process and to investigate the influence of the top management and support by supervisors in the process. In the lecture review, I reviewed 20 papers, and most of papers agreed there are a change must supported by the supervisors, and the top management must communicate with all employees at all levels. Also, change management is important for apply an effective change process. The methodology, I used a quantitative research process through a questionnaire. My target population was the employees in the public and private university. So I respond 204 replies from the academic staff, supervisors, and managers in the Libyan University. As a result, most of papers agreed there is obstacles that may arise when we have to do the process. So there is a benefit from the effective quality communication and support by supervisors and top management
two employees can reduce to these changes. Here I do the experiment test. There indicate that there is a positive correlation between readiness to change with the quality of change communication and support by supervisor and top management. And here the top management has the highest impact on readiness of change. Discussion. So here's the 4 elements that may affect the readiness to change. First one, readiness for change is the degree to the employees how they can accept that change. And trust in top management, it was important because it builds a confidence and loyalty between a top management and employees. So it can support them. And quality change communication, helping employees understand what the purpose of the change process and what the benefit of the change. Support by supervisor, it fills the employees' confidence and more motivation because they had what's the information they need and what the expected outcomes from this process. The limitation first, because my data is quantitative data, I have a questionnaire, but most of respondents provide answers that align with the social standards. Also, the research, I don't find the papers that compare between 2 sectors, public and private university. Also, my population is too huge. Recommendation, so before any university do the change process, it must to prepare for change and have a clear goals why the change is important and support the employees to accept the change. Also, leaders at all levels must to be communication with their employees. As conclusion, as I said, the change process is a difficult step in any university, so the university must to understand what's the factors that may affect the process. We found 3 factors it has a positively impact in the visa process. It was a trust in top management and support by supervisor and a clear communication. Here's my answers. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here at the Scientific Day for School of Human and Social Science. Hi, Dr. Muhammad. My last presentation in front of Dr. Muhammad was a disaster for me, actually. So it's remembering. But it was in the 3rd semester, so it's okay. Hoping to see improvement. My name is Wahab Al-Amrouni. My topic today, the impact of debt on economic growth on the MENA region, supervised by Dr. Muhammad Isa and co-supervised by Dr. Hatim Faytouri. So let's begin with the table of content. As introduction, a set of goals known as the Sustainable Development Goals, which is SDGs, was established by the UN and expected to be complete in 2030. A primary goal is to enhance economic growth. So what's we mean by public debt? Public debt is defined as the money owed by a country to lenders outside of its own, such as individual, corporation, and other governments. And another definition for the debt, the total amount of money borrowed by a government, is known as public debt, and it's an essential tool for funding public projects, for policymakers around the world, finding a careful balance between using debt to fund development and avoiding the traps of excessive debt has become crucial. Many economies, including developed and developing countries, rely heavily on the debt, on the borrowing, either domestically or externally. So in this section, previous study, 7 previous studies were used in this section. All of the study used secondary data, and most of them utilizing regression model analysis. Three papers were indicate that debt hindered output growth until it reached 800 of GDP, or gross domestic product. One paper indicates that there is no consensus regarding how public debt and economic growth are related, either positively, negatively, or even non-linear connection. Three papers said that there is a positive and significant impact by domestic debt. What's the research problem? There is a complex connection between countries' overall economic growth and the amount of public debt that it accumulates. It has been trying to narrow down this wide subject into more focused issues, examining the effect of various public debt categories such as external and domestic debt to determine differences in their effects on the economic growth. Previous studies have uncovered the impact of debt on the economy in the MENA region. So our research question, what is the impact of debt on the economy of the MENA region? The research importance, the importance of this study or this paper seems from its potential to make important contribution to academic scholarship and to the policymakers. This paper significant can be expressed in many crucial ways. The result of this study can provide the policymakers with helpful guidance to develop efficient economic strategies, and it's essential to comprehend the relationship between public debt, economic growth, to make well-informed judgments about debt policies and fiscal management. The research objective, examining debt's impact on economic growth, evaluate the connection between public debt or country debt levels and overall economic growth, taking into account domestic and external debts. Also, investigate the impact of domestic debt and external debt on the GDP, exploring the relationship between these two forms of debt and its potential effect on economic growth. The research hypothesis, each one said there is a positive impact of external debt on economic growth, and it showed there is a positive effect of domestic debt on economic growth. So the part of literature review, this chapter describes in overall terms the evaluation of debt structure. There's many different many different forms of debt, such as credit debt, credit card debt, mortgage, student loan, and personal loans. It can generally be categorized as either unsecured or secure, revolving, or installment. 7 papers were reviewed for this chapter that discuss the types of debt. The research methodology. This chapter presents the resource of data and procedure used in analyzing the data. The primary goal of this research to investigate the problem of current debt and how significantly affect the economic development of the 20 MENA region countries. The current study initial gathering data from the World Bank from 1970 to 2022. The study has 3 variables, which is external debt and domestic debt, considered as independent variables, and the GDP considered as dependent variables. Model used in this study is a regression model using EViews model on EViews 20. Data analysis. So we will start with the correlation. The correlation between dependent and independent variable. The GDP and EXD correlation coefficient is 0.92. That indicates that the relationship between the GDP and EXD is strongly positive and linear. Also, between the GDP and EDD, 0.89 is further indicate that there is a considerable positive linear between GDP and EDD as well. So the regression analysis. According to the R square here, the independent variable under the study explain 0.86 of the dependent variable, while other variables not including in this study account for the remaining 14.4, with the t-static of 17.9 and probability of 0.0 for EXD or the external debt is likely significant reductor. Regarding the instance of the ADD, the significant reductor has a negative coefficient. indicating negative connection with the dependent variable, which means that the ADD or the domestic debt on the MENA region has a negative relation between EDD and the GDP. So to answer this hypothesis, each one, there is a positive impact of external debt on the economic growth, accepted because, as I mentioned in the regression analysis, that the external debt affects in a positive way the economic growth, and H2, there is a positive impact of domestic debt on economic growth, rejected because the domestic debt has a negative relation between with GDP. In conclusion, the key findings, balancing the ledger of debt and growth, the empirical results confirm that when managed carefully, external debt can act as an engine for economic growth for these countries, while the connection between EDD and EXD is a connection in connection with GDP, illustrate a delicate balance that requires strategic dexterity. Limitation. The data availability and quality. The availability and quality of the data used for analysis present a major study limitation, and regional heterogeneity in economic policies. An important research limitation is the variety of economic environment and policy structure seen in the Middle East and North Africa. And the recommendation encourage that the strategic distribution between both external and domestic debt, funds to initiatives that have an excellent chance of generating profits, more effective management of domestic debt, because as we mentioned that we have a negative relation, put into practice effective domestic debt management plans that give the national budget serving debt obligation the highest priority, and regular debt sustainability evaluation. Thank you for your listening. Any questions?
I hope you're having a great day. I know it's been a very long day today. It's a very long day for me as well. But it shouldn't take very long time to get through this presentation. So my topic is measuring the effects of online information quality, user-friendly accessibility, and digital marketing interactions on the intentions to visit tourist destinations in the case of Libya. Okay. Obviously, the presentation is by me. It was co-supervised by Dr. Inas Butana and Dr. Mehnoud Bilal. He's not in here, unfortunately, but let's begin. So this is my table of contents. So I'm going to give you just a quick introduction about the topic, just the objectives, the literary review, which won't take very long, and the methods, results, discussion, conclusion, and acknowledgement. Of course, so introduction. Globalization has transformed tourism, the tourism industry, connecting people worldwide and fostering a new informed consumer set. So you might ask why I'm saying this. This topic doesn't just talk about how information is being processed, how information is being given to people through certain websites or through social media. It also delves into a much more in-depth analysis of the human brain and how people decide on how to visit a place, what motivates them to visit such a place. Okay, so. You know, with this need in high awareness and needs and preferences as human beings, information in that sense should be highly accurate and good quality and credible, so that people, when they view it, they are given a good sense about the place, so that when they go to it, they're not discouraged by it. Okay. When I also talk to you about user-friendly accessibility, I'm talking about the accessibility of information. Is it accessible enough online? Is it easily accessible? Is the information that is provided to the people cluttered that makes them demotivated, or is it yeah, basically. So, to be continued, in one study it was shown that 68% of travelers rely on reviews and recommendations done online, and these recommendations and reviews are to be taken into perspective, because when a tourist goes online and they try and find information about a certain destination, for example, destinations in Libya, we lack so much in the Libyan perspective. When you type Libya in Google, you don't find much information about it, okay? And this discourages people who want to come and visit Libya, okay? Information is not accessible about it. The different locations in Libya, I mean, Cyrenaica, for example, what is there, the different historical sites in Libya. When you try and find information about this, it's most of the time you won't, because there isn't. And so this is really, really important when we are thinking about providing information to tourists. So this is my objective of the study, measuring the effects of online information quality, user-friendly accessibility, and digital marketing interactions on the intentions to visit tourist destinations. My literature review. So, according literature review, I didn't include every single paper that was written in the literature review, but just the most important ones. So according to the theory of planned behavior, it's a theory that was developed by Ashton in 1991, and it's a theory that describes how humans behave, or how humans, decide on certain decisions before they finalize, before they think of visiting a place. So this theory has three components. The first component is attitudes towards the behavior. So your attitudes, for example, towards visiting that place. When you're visiting that place, do you feel a sense of enjoyment? Do you feel a sense of satisfaction? Do you feel a sense of relaxation? Do you like going to that place, or do you not? This is what attitudes towards behavior means. When we also talk, the second component of this theory is subjective norms. Subjective norms is the social pressures or social influences that come from the behavior. So, for example, like word of mouth, for example, or recommendations that are done by family, friends, strangers that you meet online. What do they think about this destination, and how do they influence you to want to go to that destination, the intention to visit? And lastly, the last component is do you have the means to go to that place? Do you have the financial means? Do you have the So do you have the financial means? Do you have the time? Do you have the means of accessibility to actually go to that place? Now, in one other study done by Kim et al. In 2007, it was shown that females are more prone or value online information because they trust it, and it's because it's risk reduction. Okay? What I mean by this is that females are more intricate and detailed when it comes to making decisions as opposed to males. Okay, and this is biologically speaking. Males are just more impulsive when it comes to making decisions, whereas females tend to think about every single little detail before they actually make a judgment about visiting a place. And this is, of course, there are many different aspects that, factors that influence such a thing. Again, when we are talking about this, high quality information is very, very important. information that is, for example, when you go on information to see information about a destination online, in websites, tourist destination online websites, TDOCs, if you find a huge amount of information, this causes cognitive load. High cognitive load causes people to become demotivated, and it causes frustration, confusion. So there isn't much information. The information that you're trying to process, you're not able to process it for various issues. But when information is, easily navigatable, can be easily found, it becomes easier for that person to sort of make a cognitized image of that place. Okay? And then again, as shown in here, social media is used, at least about 90% of it is used by millennials, people of our generation, okay? And it's really, really important to understand that as marketers, because when you're trying to tailor to a specific niche of market, okay, we have to understand that these people rely on, before visiting a destination, these people rely on these specific aspects that Instagram, Facebook, the people you meet online, what do they think, the influencers you meet online, what do they think about this destination, and to make you, or to influence you to want to go to that place. It was also shown that, by Bakshi in 2014, that faces, that images that have faces on, 38% of the time are more popular than the ones that don't, because they create authenticity, they create a sense of trust in that place. Yes. So methods, my study employed a quantitative research approach, used a survey structured questionnaire with 18 questions divided between 4 sections, mostly closed-ended statements, and 6 more for collecting certain demographic data about the population that I'm trying to target. These questions were measured on a 5 Likert scale, where 5 means strongly agree and 1 means strongly disagree. The questionnaire was also carefully translated from Arabic into English, and moreover, it was thoroughly assessed using IBM SPSS software, using these testing tools: Cronbach's alpha, reliability test, a data normality test, which most of the time is non-parametric data, and Smirnov and Spearman's test to ensure data accuracy and reliability. Now, according to Christensen Morgan's table, 1917 table, if a population was over 1 million, in our case it was 7 million, because we were trying to target the entirety of Libya, it was 7 million, then the sample size should be around 384 or 400 at least, okay? 5 minutes, okay. So, we've had quite a good amount of respondents, and we tailored this response. So Cronbach's alpha, as this table suggests, due to these high reliability values, that we can place full confidence in the research in its ability to primarily reach the objective initialization of the study that's being conducted. As you can see in here, it says 0.90, and the threshold is 0.70, so that's excellent reliability. Normality test, obviously my research was not fairly normally distributed. It was not normally distributed. As you can see from this graph over here, it sort of detrended. It should have been a bell curve, that's a normal distribution, but in my case it wasn't. Obviously, some demographic analysis, most of the gender respondents were women, females. This can cause quite a lot of generalizability and bias within my study, but that doesn't hinder the absolute importance of this study, because maybe sometime in the future, other studies can prove my point that this account of percentage of women responding to the questionnaire is important when it comes to information collection and so on. And another thing that I want to talk to you about is the internet usage. It was shown that also in my study, most of the population that I've been targeting used the internet or social media overall three hours or more a day, okay, which accounts to 61.54%. And this shows you the importance of this study, because in today's world we are more, we see through that digitalization is becoming more and more important each day. Spearman's correlation test, which is a statistical method used to measure the strength and direction of association between two variables. In our case, it was shown that all variables had an effect on the actual variable, which is the intention to visit. But more importantly, it was online information quality was the most important effect on the intention to visit. Just quick discussion, as I said, I've already mentioned that the majority of our respondents were between the ages of 30 and 50%, accounting to 44% of the population, and they were females. This causes a lot of generalizability and limitation in the study, as well as that most of the respondents were Libyans. I was hoping for more for other people apart from Libyans, it was as I said before, the majority of the population was using the internet for more than 3 hours a day. It was also highlighted that the role of information and user-friendly accessibility is essential in determining tourist decision-making processes, as was viewed in Table 10, clearly suggesting this force of influence. And there was an accessible information minimizes poor decisions and excessive usability issues among users. So the more accessible information is, the more decisions people can make about when going to places and visiting those places. Instagram, the likes of Instagram, the likes of Facebook, the likes of TikTok, they are all really, really important aspects of and factors that influence decision making in the long run. So this is the conclusion. Online information is dominant. It is seen that is a dominant factor in shaping tourist perception and choices. Also building trust through authentic online representation is also very important. The digital landscape presents opportunities and challenges requiring Libyan tourism stakeholders to think about this in future research. And of course, this is just an acknowledgement, and thank you very much for